All right, welcome to part three. Obviously, this is the next day. It's morning. It's 7 a.m. I just, for a variety of reasons, was not able to finish up all these videos last night. I got sidetracked. I went to the fencing club over in the Vidal Bean Center and fenced with some students. It was fun. Anyway, back to Wi-Fi. We left off talking about AC. 802.11 AC, which is the new version that's currently in production, as we'll say. There is a new version, 802.11 AD, that's supposed to be bigger and badder and a lot faster. 802.11 AD is not something I'll test you on the exam. I want you to know about G, N, and AC. But AD really is gigabit Wi-Fi, and it operates in a completely different band, so not 2.4, not 5, but 60 gigahertz. A bigger channel bandwidth. Notice that the width of the band of the frequency was measured in megahertz. Here it's measured in gigahertz. Much higher frequency, and uses MIMO and as we talked about before, but can get up to 7 gigabits per second throughput, which is amazing. The application for this is weird though. It's such a high frequency, it actually will not penetrate a wall. So it does not, you can't broadcast from one room to another. The best you could do is broadcast within the same room. So the application would be for things where you need wireless connections but can't run a cable for some reason. I can't imagine what that would be. I'm sure there's some application for this, but this is kind of the state of technology right now. But back to kind of the real world and what you're going to encounter in the workplace, I would remind you that it's, of my design principle number 3 or whatever, that it's all about management still. When I say management, I don't mean like executive management. I mean network management, managing the devices on your network. So the same way you want to manage switch, you want an AP, a wireless access point that's fully manageable. Sometimes you're going to pay more for a more fully managed access point, but in my mind it's well worth it. You just have to make the business case for it, less downtime, easier to upgrade and all that. Access points typically are easily managed through a command line interface, just like a GUI. Like I said in class, most access points, most network devices are Linux based, which is why I keep harping on learning Linux. Will help you out in the long run. Obviously, you want to be able to remotely support these things, get into them remotely, because they're usually mounted in weird places that are hard to get to. Quality of service on a good access point, you can manage and assign priority to traffic. You usually get better event logging, better security options. For ease of configuration, if you've configured your wireless access point at home, you know how easy it is. And with a GUI wizard, clicking next, and assigning an IP address and an SSID and setting up WPA2 security, which we'll talk about in the next chapter, is straightforward. But if you have to do 1,000 of these, that gets cumbersome really fast. So remember when we were talking about software-defined networking, it applies to firewalls and it also applies to access points, that there's a lot of savings to be gained if you can centralize management of the control, I don't want to say layer because I don't want you confused with the 5 layers, but if you abstract the forwarding decision from the control decision and put all the control decisions in a centralized platform, again, for very large networks, this makes sense. For small networks, it makes no sense whatsoever. If you want to play around with what a managed access point looks like and can't shell out money for, several $100s for a really good access point, play with DDWRT. You can download this for free and install it on your home access point, but I'd caution you, the installation is a little tricky and it's very easy to brick your access point. So you have to follow the instructions exactly right, and when it says hold down the power for 30 seconds or 60 seconds, it means that. You have to do that before and after to reset everything during the DDWRT process. But it gives you so many more options in terms of configuration, and there's a command line interface that works very well. So to kind of wrap up, Wi-Fi propagation, we have a lot more to deal with than we do with any wired connection. It's just trickier because you're using radio waves that go through the air, and a lot of things can cause interference. A lot of things can cause shadow zones. These are things we don't have to worry about with wired cabling. Attenuation we have with wired cabling, but it's just a much worse problem with Wi-Fi, and especially with higher frequencies. I think this is some kind of spectrograph. I just picked it because it looked sexy, but worse at higher frequencies. And now let's wrap up and watch a video together. There are ways to hack Wi-Fi, and some of them are serious, some of them are silly. This one is silly, but there's a sound design principle here. But mostly I just like to hear how Bob talks. Here we go.
Now that the fantasy football season is upon us, you may find that you need to extend that Wi-Fi signal more than ever. Today I'm going to show you how to do just that with a beer can. Welcome to Operation Extendable. Now I know when I want to get some peace and quiet, I have to go out to my garage. There's two problems with this. One, I'm usually sitting next to the garbage. And two, my Wi-Fi signal doesn't extend out. Today, I'm going to show you how to extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your house. Here's the tools that you will need. One pair of scissors, one razor knife, one beer can, and one roll of tape or other adhesive. The first thing you need to do is grab a beer can and empty it out.
My favorite part.
Make sure you rinse it clean. Get rid of the pop top. After that, you want to cut the bottom of the beer can off.
Please be careful if you're really going to try this. I don't want anybody to cut their finger off.
Next, you want to cut around the top, leaving the part below the opening attached. Now you want to be careful here because the can can get pretty flimsy. You don't want to cut off a finger or bend the can.
See, Bob doesn't want you to cut a finger off either. Ugh.
When you get done with that, you'll want to cut up the middle. And then form the can into something that looks sort of like a radar device. You put a little tape on the bottom. And then just slide it on your wireless router. And you're good to go. And there you have it. An extended signal. Now you can sit out in your garage and surf the web and look at your favorite YouTube videos.
This is an apology to my daughter, Chloe. During the entire time you were in the womb, we didn't take any kind of video or pictures.
Okay, let's stop that. So all Bob was doing there is essentially doing this with using the beer can. So the idea is to force the radio waves in a certain direction. This is a cheap way to do it. A beer can is a cheap way to do it. You can use a Pringles can for even better results. A lot of people have done a Pringles can, Pringles potato chip can frequently be used to extend Wi-Fi signal. This is all stuff we don't have to worry about with an Ethernet cable, which is why that's superior. Some people use aluminum foil inside a bowl, and wrap a bowl in aluminum foil and set your access point in there, like if you need to broadcast more signal up, especially if it's in the basement. It can actually help. So with that wraps up this chapter on Wi-Fi. There will be a second chapter on Wi-Fi, but that'll be after spring break and after the exam. So I wish everybody a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.